a Penguins writer with Trib Sports, so I believe that's the Pittsburgh Tribune, said Lars Eller was always seemingly furious when the Penguins lost, even when they were competitive. He had plenty to be angry about this season, and this afternoon, when he was still a member of the Penguins, he spoke about the team's malaise. He said, the adversity we're going through has to make us better. We need to grow from it and improve. We talked, the players talked, the coaches talked. We are where we are, and we need to crawl out of it and find our way back in one game at a time, one shift at a time. And then when asked who needs to be better, he said, everybody. Then he was traded. Now, what's interesting about this is Seth also tweeted this, and I love this. And Steve, you will especially love this.
Okay.
He said, if I'm reading Puckpedia correctly, the 2025 fifth rounder that the Penguins acquired in the Eller trade has been around the block. It was a pick that Washington sent to Pittsburgh. Washington acquired it from Toronto in the
Joel Edmondson deal.
In the Joel Edmondson deal. And then Toronto acquired it from Chicago originally.
In the Jake McCabe deal.
Yes. Isn't that funny? So
yes.
Kyle Dubas has had this pick twice.
So Washington currently has Chicago's pick.
That's correct. No, Pittsburgh has Chicago's pick.
Oh, yeah.
Washington,
because they got it from Washington. Yeah, so Pittsburgh has Chicago's... Which one is it?
So, okay.
It's the fifth rounder, 2025.
Chicago's pick goes to Toronto, goes to Washington, goes to Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yeah, so he was the general manager of that pick twice. Hilarious.
That's cool.
Just a funny little wrinkle.
Delightfully Kyle Dubas.
We talked about this on the show yesterday, but I think it's really worth bringing up because Taylor Hasse, who is a writer for DK Sports Pittsburgh, said in one of her columns that it said, the league source told me earlier this week that Kyle Dubas has made it known to other teams that, quote, everyone is available except 87. It's interesting. I bring this up on the show yesterday at Shoeless Joe's, and Jesse goes, we have a trade to announce, and it's Lars Eller.
Well, and what I said was, do all the guys with no movements know that?
Yeah, well, and there are a lot. I want to get to that.
Sure.
And I think it was interesting what Taylor wrote. She said, and while Dubas has done well to replenish the pool with picks and prospects over the last year or so, the objective of any near future moves wouldn't be to add more futures. Rather, it would be to acquire actual players back, since this isn't a tear it down to the studs rebuild, as Dubas likes to say. He remains committed to trying to win with at least Crosby. Ownership made a promise to Crosby over the summer that the Penguins would be better this season. Now, I don't know how ownership or Crosby could have believed that.
I do.
Yeah, so you told this Matt Sundin story yesterday, but do a quick one for anybody that didn't catch the Shoeless Joe's show.
So Inside Home and Away, which is Matt Sundin's book, and it's just really, really good. He tells the story and he paints a picture. I think it was the 07-08 season, which was his last season as a Leaf, first season of LFR. He bursts into the Leafs room after a loss, and he slams his stick on the table and gets the attention of everyone in the room, and this is not something he typically did. And like welling up, tears in his eyes, voice cracking, was talking about what it means to be a Leaf and what it would mean to win here and what he was so mad about. And with all the rumors of him getting traded and the Leafs rebuilding, what made him mad about that was he believed the Leafs could win. The 07-08 Leafs, he thought could win. And when it stopped me in my tracks. It was on a walk when I listened to it. I'm like, this is why Sidney Crosby's still in Pittsburgh. It's not just like, yes, this is my home. Obviously, it's his home. This is where my life is. Obviously, it's where his life is. But Sundin, if Sundin could delude himself into thinking that Leafs team was remotely close to competing for anything, then Sidney Crosby could easily think that his Penguins could compete.
The goalies that year, Vesa Toskala with a .904 save percentage, Raycroft with an .876. And
Raycroft as a backup was unplayable.
And Clemenson played a few games. Two notable players on that team, Sundin with 78 points, Antropov with 56, Caberlet 53, Jason Blake 52, and Alexander Steen, who they'd later trade, with 42. Not a great team.
No, dude. No, not a great team at all.
Sundin did win the Messier Award that year.
Oh, good for him. Paul Maurice was the coach, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah,
Maybe that's why he thought they could win.
maybe. It's
Maybe Paul Maurice is that motivational that he could trick his captain into thinking the 07-08 Leafs could fucking compete.
So you think that Crosby's probably in that zone where he still? I mean, he has to be.
I believe him when. Well, I don't know if he ever actually said it, but like I believe that Crosby believes in this team, and I don't think he's an idiot for it.
Now, Jesse, you have a new feature on SDPN, and it's called the Blake Down.
Yes.
And on Monday, before I even got to get on the stream, the Dallas Stars had hung 6 goals on the Penguins in 20 minutes at PPG Paints, which Pens fans have renamed PPG Pain Arena. And so so you broke down all 6 goals using NHL Edge.
Yeah. I did a quick run through of all 6 goals, and it was a lot of fun. And a couple takeaways from that. Crosby was coming back real slow on one of them, and he just looked so sad. His little 87 dot trailing the play as his defenseman completely blew it, and I shed a little tear for him on that. But a couple actual takeaways. Matt Grzelcyk looks awful. Ryan Graves looks awful, and Chris Letang was on the ice for a lot of those goals and was a big part of a couple of the errors that led for it to go directly into the back of the net. So their defensemen who are supposed to be playing good defense aren't there for them. And then goaltending, Bloomquist is supposed to be the hero to save because Jari's so bad. Let in a few stinkers, gets pulled, and then Nedeljkovic comes in, who's supposed to be the guy who's going to fill in because Jari's out as well, also lets in a couple stinkers, and then Jari's also unplayable. So
yes.
I don't know what's supposed to be working with the whole lineup. If you're not getting any offense because like Logan O'Connor is on your first line with Crosby or whatever you're doing with the lineup, and then all your defense is bad and is making every wrong pass they should make, and then your goaltending stinks. Where is the redeemable qualities about the Penguins roster?
I said it before, like Dubas, if he had a real weakness, man, the decors that he put together in Toronto were just not good.
Also, I said Logan O'Connor. Drew O'Connor.
That's always, yeah.
I did it again. My bad. Drew O'Connor.
You son of a gun.
Crosby's left winger.
I'm looking at Chris Letang. He had 10 goals, 41 assists, 51 points last year in a healthy 82-game season. Like, I was about to talk about, he's old. No, like, he's still so good, but that's offensively.
Yeah, he's lost a step defensively. Like, I think it's fair to say that about a guy who's been in the league since 1940
and should have had his career ended like 4 different times.
Yeah,
like how many career-threatening injuries has Letang faced?
Well,
it's insane.
If you have to choose where to attack against the Penguins, I mean, Carlson, Letang, all right, pick that side. But other side is Graves and Grzelcyk, dude. Like, it's
free square for like offenses that want to attack.
What I was saying yesterday, and maybe this is part of the reason why they moved Lars Eller. Like, okay, you get a little bit of, you get a couple draft picks, but you get some cap room too.
Yeah.
What I was saying is, every time a player clears waivers, I look at the Penguins. I'm like, are you sure?
Well, they don't have the room.
Well,
if they wanted Fabro, they don't have the room.
Now
hopefully they do now.
Yeah, now things are kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe we got a little bit of room.
Yeah. This guy is. And they're assigning him to the. You couldn't use him.
I saw a tweet. I think it was Jesse Marshall retweeted somebody. It was like, it just goes to show that charts don't win hockey games, and it was a Leaf fan saying, Dubas tried to do that here, blah blah blah. And Jesse tweeted back, and he's like, hey man, I don't know what charts he's looking at, but he's not doing that here. Like Matt Grzelcyk especially is a guy that is drowning right now, and he's playing first pair. And I thought you would find this extra interesting, gentlemen. There was a report out of Sweden today from Radio Sporten.
I saw this.
And this is the former captain and general manager. He's a former team Sweden head coach and GM, Johan Garpenlöf. And I don't know this name, but I guess he's.
Oh, I know Johan.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. He said that Erik Karlsson shouldn't even be going to the Four Nations. And I just did a Google Translate.
That's an overstatement.
He said, I would have not selected Erik Karlsson for this Four Nations squad. And by the way, Erik's already on the squad. He was one of the 5 that they announced. His shortcomings in the defensive game are too great in such a tournament. Every match is important, and you can't afford these big mistakes that Erik Karlsson unfortunately does. Now, last time that they played the World Cup, Karlsson was the captain. And I have to tell you, I don't know who you'd replace him with, but the way Erik Karlsson has played this year, I agree. He's bad. He's bad. And he missed training camp with some sort of mystery, shows up game 1 and it looks like shit, and has continued to look bad.
His share of expected goals is still positive.
Well, it always is, though. It's Erik Karlsson. I don't think that's the problem with the game that this I think Johan is showing. He's talking about the defense.
It sounds like something personal because that's a little disrespectful. He's one of the greatest Swedish players of all time to ever step foot in the NHL.
But what have you done for me lately?
At this point in his career, he isn't bad enough to be left off of an international roster for Sweden. That's a wild thing.
I want Erik Karlsson in a short winner take all tournament.
This is ridiculous.
Still.
All right.
But no, like
I think it's worth
of his
mentioning.
defensive play are valid. But like I feel like Erik Karlsson's never really been a mystery. We know what he is. He's going to allow 8 goals and score 9. That's maybe 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. That's always what he's been.
Yeah. I still have Pens fans tweeting me going, oh, well, it was the right move to make at the time. No. It's never been the right move for the Pens.
It should get you in the playoffs.
The fact that it didn't shows that it's not. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do we understand that results are the only thing that matter? Have we got that yet? I'm sorry. I don't. It should have, and it was. It was the right move for the time. Well, what did the results show? And it's not Erik's fault, but Erik's style of play as he gets older is also going to be harder.
Yeah.
Because usually with defensemen, when they're less fleet of foot, which Erik is, because of some pretty severe injuries to that ankle, and the fact that he is still playing is a miracle. The fact that his offensive game is kept up has been great. A lot of guys have to stay alive by playing defense. By learning and playing a different game.
Or how about this? The Penguins don't have Mark Mathot coming through the door. Right?
To save his bacon.
That was a great Batman and Robin setup that they have.
Totally.
And I'm not sure how often Grzelcyk is his partner, but like I wanted to look something up with him just to confirm my assumption. So in 2020, I lost it. Sorry. 2020 and 2021, in 37 games with the Bruins, so not very many, he got up to 1945 per game in terms of time on ice. And the Bruins were like, oh, okay, let's dial that back. The 3 seasons that followed, 1844, 1714, 1736. Dubas goes and gives him a bunch of money. He's playing 2011. He's never in his NHL career averaged 20 minutes or more a night. So this is...
When you structure a cap that way, though.
I feel like we said this last show. No, but what he did was he took a bet with a depth defenseman, like a second or third pair guy on the Bruins, and he said he can play more here. And it's not working.